There's a lot of rumors floating around about the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's take a look at some of them. Welcome back to RGR Football. Good morning to all of you in Chiefs Kingdom. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue on the Chiefs and the NFL. The draft process, everything kind of included in it, and there's a lot going on right now. A lot of rumors floating around, not just about the team, but how they're going to be affected by some of the other rumors. So if you're not subscribed yet, consider clicking that and the bell down below. Hit it to all. Leave your comment below. Let me know what you think. And then also, make sure you leave a thumbs up if you like this particular one. This is kind of my coffee series here as I try to get back into just talking rather than trying to dig up images and everything else for you. So today I want to address rumors. And one in particular that keeps coming up, and I keep getting a ton of questions about it, is a lot of mock drafts out there are talking heads, are analysts, giving Chiefs running backs in the first round. And is this valid? Is it true? I don't talk to anybody inside the Chiefs personnel department as much as I would like to. So I can't tell you exactly what they're saying. But I will tell you this. Mock drafts are not reality. They are not what the team's going to do. Anybody who tells you who the Chiefs are going to pick, they're either a liar or they just don't know. So it's somebody's interpretation. And that's why I try to explain in my mock drafts why I would select somebody for the Kansas City Chiefs and why I might not select somebody else. And if you missed this week's mock draft, it went up yesterday, and go check that out. Did an extra one. I was doing every 2 weeks because of this whole change in what the process is going to be for the NFL draft. And that's important too. So check that out from yesterday. It'll be linked up here, or definitely in the show notes. And here's the thing. I try to explain it so that you know where I'm coming from. A lot of folks don't, and they just take a stab at what they'd like to see or what they think they would do. And so you got to take that with a big grain of salt. Nobody's inside the room with Brett Veach. Nobody knows what he's going to do yet. He and Andy are probably the only two that have a clue as to what they're even trying to target. And that's probably very fluid because of this whole draft process this year, which is very, very strange. And in the end, they'll make their selection. I won't worry about a running back. I think because of what they have, it's pretty disrespectful to what Damian Williams has been able to do to say that they're going to draft a first-round running back, because that's basically saying we're taking your job and giving it to this draft pick, because there's no way that a first-round draft pick is not going to be the starter. You have to. It's one of those deals that you might give them a little bit of time to develop, but it's not going to be drawn out. So I don't think that's one reason that rumor is not true. The second one is that they have Darrell Williams coming back. They like Darrell, and they have Darwin Thompson. Now, if everybody remembers from 11 months ago, after Darwin was selected in the draft, it was, hey, he's the next coming of Priest Holmes. Like, everybody thought that this is the kid that's going to make the difference, right? And I told you at the time, hey, it's going to be a tall order for him to make an impact in 2019, but 2020 is going to be his year. And I still believe that. A year into the program, it helps quite a bit, especially for a smaller school guy, to come in and start to make an impact. Now, I have to admit, this whole thing of not having OTAs and mini camps, that does hurt all the rookies from last year, but particularly Darwin Thompson, because he didn't get on the field as much as Colin Saunders did and Juan Thornhill did and McCole Hardman did. But Darwin had a couple of really nice snaps. He's got to work on his pass block. We've talked about that before. And the problem is that OTAs and minicamps are the time when they really can work on that stuff. So developing those skill sets are really important for Darwin Thompson, as well as any other rookie running back, but Darwin in particular. So his progress might be a little bit delayed, is what I'm saying. When they get to training camp, and I do feel like training camp's where this is going to start, this is going to be a little bit more prolonged, but I think by mid-season you're going to see him start to have that impact that we talked about last year. Maybe it'll be before that. Again, any kind of organized activity that he can get with the coaching staff will help him immensely. And that's brings me to the bigger rumor, the one that I get asked about has a lot of, hey, I got you. How do you know? Here's the thing. Yes, Commissioner Goodell has said they want to keep the draft. They're keeping the draft on the right day. There is more and more upswell from people within the league to get that pushed back. More and more GMs are starting to talk about wanting that to be delayed so they have an opportunity to try to complete part of their draft cycle. Now, I don't know any GMs. I don't talk to any of them, but I do talk to a lot of people that work around the NFL, agents, etc., people who know people inside of organizations, a lot of conversations. And there's more and more discussion about, can they get this pushed back? How do they go about getting the league and Commissioner Goodell to push it back a week or two? Just a little bit of time to try to get them a little bit more information before they have to go make $1 million decisions. Honestly, franchise-changing decisions. So while I can't say that it's going to happen, I do hear more and more people talking about it, and you're going to start to hear people talk about it on podcasts, etc. I think Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network has already done that. That's the report that I got. I'd have to go check it, but don't be surprised if that's what comes to fruition. And then that leads back to, that's all part of this draft process that the Chiefs are trying to adapt to, and we're hearing more about them conducting interviews over FaceTime, over Google Hangouts or whatever it is. However they can connect to a prospect, they're trying to do that to get some of that one-on-one, that stuff that you don't get from watching film. And a lot of that, when they come in for a visit, especially in your organization, it's guys that you feel you need to get information on. A lot of folks ask me about Willie Gay, who's a really good athlete, has had off-the-field problems, has had some problems in his locker rooms as well. So you really want to get a feel for that guy. He's a guy that I think is really being hurt by this process, because if he's matured and moved past all of his past issues, he doesn't have a chance to really demonstrate that to anyone in person. And you can say what you want about a FaceTime interview or, conversations that way, but in person makes a difference. And I think that's part of what's being lost here to the general public, is that a lot of what teams get a feel for a guy is when they're together in a room. And that's really what's being changed through this process. So there's a lot to go over there. And all these rumors come back to what the Chiefs are trying to get done. And yes, it does still hinge on Sammy Watkins and Chris Jones. And with Demarcus Robinson being back in the mix, it makes you have to kind of shift your priorities, because I don't feel, I think wide receiver is now out as an option at the first pick in the Chiefs draft, unless they're just can't get out of the pick and it's a clear fact that on their board the wide receiver is there and everybody else is down below. They're not going to take a lesser pick if they have to get pushed into taking that selection at number 32. But that said, you feel like you can move forward with or without Sammy, and something's got to happen with Sammy eventually. Either a contract restructure or a release, something's going to happen. But so you're not looking, at this point, I think that changes the priority from looking for a replacement starter level. I think they'll roll with Demarcus Robinson for a bit and know that he knows the offense. That is a big thing this particular offseason, being able to just roll into what you've done before. So that changes. So you're going to probably drop your priority down. You want to look more at the third and fourth round receivers. And those are guys that maybe you didn't get in your first 45 interviews at the Combine, which is the last time they had in-person visits or interviews, except for a couple of the stray pro days. So that really puts an emphasis on what they can get out of the information on those guys that they probably haven't talked to that much yet. One guy that keeps standing out, and BJ Kissel over on the Chiefs Mothership channel always brings up Golden Gandy, the big wide receiver. I like the way that he makes separation. It isn't a ton of separation, but it's enough. I think he's like a fringe day 2, day 3 guy that the Chiefs might end up really liking. So keep an eye out on him, and I'm going to keep going over prospects as we go through not only the mocks, but some of the film work. I am working away on the athletic matrix, so that's taking a lot of my time right now. I'm going to have the draft guide out for you as soon as possible. If you missed the initial go of just the athletic matrix, not the production stats and the draft guide, you can check that out over at rogueapc.com. That's ROGUEAPC.com. shop.apc.com, and use the code RGR20 to get a discount on it. But check that out. That gives you functional athleticism, and it's a piece that's really going to play in more to this draft for the Chiefs than it probably has in the last couple of years. So that's where I'm at today. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe out there, whether you're leaving the house or staying home. Fight the boredom too. I know we're doing that some. I appreciate you guys checking this one out. I'll have something for you tomorrow, probably a review from Dan Harms, so be ready for that, and we'll just keep on churning as this process moves forward, and we'll discuss more rumors as they come up. So thanks for checking this one out and these, and I'll catch you next time.